All right, what's going on, guys? So, courtesy of my brothers over there at the Iron Lords podcast, might have just got hit with the first ever benchmarks for the PlayStation 5. Master shout out to the Iron Lords for this information, and definitely go check out their podcast. Really well informed individuals, and they're funny as hell. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's story. Courtesy of them and courtesy of Twitter. Sony revealed in April that the PS5 will use the latest AMD CPU and GPU technology. The PlayStation 5 is expected to be powerful. Full specs have not yet been revealed, so we still do not know how powerful it's going to be. However, it looks like all this is about to change, as the very first PS5 benchmarks may have just been leaked on Twitter. This benchmark has been leaked courtesy of Tum_Apesek. Now, Apesek, really, everybody just calls him Apesek on Twitter. Apesek actually leaked the actual name for Gonzalo a long time ago, and the reason how he was able to do that, apparently he has access to a database, which they actually have linked here, or they actually have listed here, so I'm just going to continue. But that's what he has access to, a database, and he was able to find the name of it, and he was sitting there going, what's this name? And everybody speculated, and then eventually that led to Gonzalo actually being revealed later on by SONY. But before SONY even confirmed that Gonzalo, or aka the Zen 2 processor, was powering the PlayStation 5, it was already made a thing before that, because there was numerous reports on it. So just throwing that out there, a little perspective. So shout out to Apesek for breaking that. Apesek is well known in the PC community for leaking PC parts, codes, and benchmarks. He has access to a CPU and GPU database, which I just said earlier, where benchmarks are being stored, and this is how he stumbled upon Gonzalo APU Firestrike benchmark. I'm actually going to come back to this name in a second. Gonzalo APU Firestrike. That's the name of this new that's the name of the CPU, or the APU that's going to be in PS5. Gonzalo is rumored to be PS5's SoC, system on a chip, and which was also leaked by Apesek. Again, this is an engineering example of the APU, so the results are subject to change as usual with prototypes, which I definitely agree. But judging from what we got right here, this is pretty damn good. Now, if we were to go by this generation right now, right, they compared the actual power of the systems. The PS4 sits at about 5,000 in terms of its overall score. Not bad, right? Courtesy of Gonzalo. Gonzalo is up there to 20,000 points on the scale. That is how powerful Gonzalo is over the PlayStation 4's over the PlayStation 4's what's the name CPU? The Jaguar CPU. So that's how more powerful it is. But to continue, PS5's Gonzalo APU scored 20,000 points, which is very impressive. This is in perspective and compared to the top of the line PC graphics cards. They have the 2070 RTX, which scored 18,000. They have the Vega 64, which scored in at 19,200 points. We have the 1080 GTX from the 1080 GTX from Nvidia, which scored 19,000. And then we have, of course, the 2080 RTX, which is sitting at 21,000 points. Right now, Sony's coming in at second with this new APU. It's at 20,000. So right now, it's outperforming a 2070, a Vega 64, and a 1080 graphics card. That is pretty insane for a console. Again, this is not me saying that this is going to be the final product, right? We don't even know how much, this is going to cost the system if they could actually put all of this, into the final build. But we shall see. It's a lot to take into account. But this new APU that they went with for the next gen consoles, oh yeah. That is definitely a massive improvement over PlayStation 4, and I cannot wait to see the finished product. But to continue where the article says, PS5's Gonzalo APU seems to offer better performance than Nvidia's GTX 1080, which is very impressive for a console. GTX 1080 is still considered a top-end GPU and capable of running a lot of games in native 4K 60. What's the main thing Sony's talking about with the PS5? They're talking about native 4K and also supporting 8K TVs. The same thing can be said about Microsoft. They are going to be running at native 4K and 60 frames per second. I'm definitely, without a doubt, I believe 60 frames per second most definitely is going to be a thing of the past. We're definitely going to get 60 frames per second with these scores for sure. Console games are usually better optimized than its PC versions, so gamers are in for a treat next gen with these new consoles. This is only a benchmark, and performance in games will depend on the type of game and game engine used. Still, this benchmark gives us a glimpse into what we should expect next year. And that's the end of the article. Now, I do agree with what he said too. You know, they said their games is definitely going to vary on games. I'm pretty sure open world games, you know, obviously they're probably going to push the graphics category a little bit more. So we might have a little bit, you know, some games might vary very heavily in terms of like performance for sure. They might go with 30 with these big open world titles. You already know developers like to really, you know, expand the world when they have access to more, you know, power. But who knows? Who really knows? I guess I'll just have to wait like you guys when it comes to the overall actual system specifications. But one thing I will say is that the first party, you know, talent from Sony, they're going to push this system to a new realm. I cannot wait to see what Sony's going to do with this system. It is definitely going to be dope. So there you guys go. That is the information. Incredible, and definitely incredible. And when Mark Cerny's saying that the PS5 is going to be a reasonable price, I'm thinking maybe $450. So if Sony's going to sell this thing for $450, if they can get it to $500, $400, I'm sold, man. I am sold. They got the catalog of games that matter. They are pushing the graphics. They are pushing for innovation, and they are definitely stepping it up. And on top of that, if you missed my last video, we talked about the loading screens, where they're completely eliminating loading screens. So PlayStation 5 is definitely setting a new bar for gamers, and that right there is definitely an exciting thing to see. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you today. I want to say once again, massive shout out to the Iron Lords podcast, my brothers over there. Good job. Very, very well done. This is really, really cool. The link will be in the description below, as all links are in the description below. So go ahead and read it yourself. You guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right. This is Big Cloud Gaming. I am signing out. Y'all have a good one. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. And I'm holla at you later. Deuces.